Has no one ever taught you about stranger danger? It's a little bit creepy. Can't think of the word. Oh, good morning. This week we are reading. Okay, we're going to be mood reading. I have books on my TBR. I have books outside of my TBR. I have some audiobooks downloaded. I'm already reading a book on my Kindle. I have series I want to catch up with. There's a lot of reading that I want to do, and I want to make some progress on that this week. I also want to do some drawing. I did some the weekend just gone and it was so fun, so I definitely want to do a bit more of that this week, but that will likely be on the weekend. Maybe I'll fit some in the evenings and stuff, but most likely it will be on the weekend and we can listen to some audiobooks whilst I do that. But to start off with, I am currently listening to We Used to Live Here. I'm about 50% through this. I actually started this in my previous video. This is a thriller. Now, one of my goals for the year was to branch out in terms of the genres that I listen to, and I wanted to try thrillers. I have read like a thriller or horrors before, but I've always physically read them, and either I get bored because they're a bit too slow, or I get too freaked out and I put it away and I never pick it back up again. So listening to it as an audiobook has been a lot more fun. I think I've been engaged a lot more. It's helped me to pick it up and listen to it throughout the day, because I think I get too spooked to read thrillers and horrors in the evening, because that's when I tend to do most of my reading. But with an audiobook, I can listen to that throughout the day. And I've been enjoying it. I definitely did get spooked out a couple of times when it was nearing the evening, so I had to switch to different audiobooks in between. But I didn't even explain the premise of this book. I didn't even introduce myself. I'm Marnie. I'm a self-proclaimed hobbyist, from reading to drawing to going to arts and crafts events. I also dabble in self-studying as well, and I fill my channel up with videos all about those topics. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you've been here before, then you know what we're all about, and thank you for coming back. Back to the topic at hand. Like I said, this is a thriller. So we start off with our main character, Eve, and she's moved into this house with her partner recently. Her partner at the start of the book is at work, and so this family of 5 that claim that they used to live at the house show up and ask if they can have a look around, because they used to live there and they want to see what it's like now, and they were just in the area. She lets them, which has no one ever taught you about stranger danger? Anyway, she lets them and they essentially don't leave. There's some spooky things going on. There's a little bit of backstory about the house. And we're also getting little chapters in between, which is kind of like someone researching the spooky things that have been going on, not only at the location, but also I think around the area. So that's been fun and, like I said, spooky, but I've been enjoying it. I am 50% of the way through, so let's see if we can finish this today. If not, then tomorrow. But that's what I'm going to start off with. So I'm 65% of the way through this now. I'm still enjoying it. However, I'm becoming uncertain of whether the main character is a reliable narrator. However, I don't know if that's just adding to the eeriness of the book, because she's kind of being convinced that she might be incorrect when maybe she's actually correct, and the fact that the author is successfully convincing me that she might not be a reliable narrator might just be adding to the eeriness and kind of getting a bit more spooky. But I am still enjoying it. Like I said, I'm 65% of the way through. I'm not getting too spooked out, but I think that's because it's daytime, it's sunny. If I was listening to this in the evening, I might have a bit of a different opinion of that, because I did listen to this yesterday evening when I was like 40% of the way through, and I definitely got spooked out, and I definitely had to download a different audiobook to listen to for a little bit instead. So it's likely because it's still daytime that I'm not getting too spooked out. I'm still enjoying it, but I'm unsure of where this is going and where we're going to end up with all of the characters really, but especially the main character, Eve. Okay, so I'm about 80% of the way through this now. It's a little bit creepy. There's a gruesome scene that just happened and I'm definitely getting creeped out, but I think I actually will finish this today because I want to know what happens to the characters. I really don't know what's real and what's not, and I guess that's part of the story, but it's confusing me a little bit, and I think it's supposed to. So I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm definitely intrigued. I definitely want to know what's going on. The plot has kept me hooked. I also like the characters. Like I like our main character. I like what's going on with the side characters, although a few of the side characters that we had have kind of disappeared. So I'm wondering when they're going to come back and what that's going to be about. Our main character is almost uncovering bits and pieces here and there, which is interesting, but I'm still a little bit lost, but I think I'm supposed to be. Hello, so I have in fact finished listening to We Used to Live Here, and I couldn't decide between whether I wanted to give this 3.5 stars or 4 stars, so I'm landing in the middle with 3.75 stars. I definitely enjoyed this. I liked the plot. The ending, it has come to my attention that thrillers don't always have a happy ending. Therefore, I don't think they're the genre for me. Because even when I read like fantasy books, things might go wrong, but generally, in the end, things end up going well as like an overall conclusion. However, thrillers apparently don't have that. And so that was definitely something that's made me realize that maybe thrillers just aren't the genre for me. And I definitely still enjoyed this book. I think it was a good thriller. I was definitely intrigued. There was mystery, there was suspense, there was things happening, there was things being uncovered. And I definitely liked it. I just think as a genre, it's not for me. I prefer ones where I know there's going to be a happy ending. So I think that's something I've come to the conclusion on. However, I am glad that I've finally read a thriller. That is something that I wanted to try, so now I know. Maybe in the future I'll try them again and I'll try different ones. This one was leaning towards the supernatural, so maybe I don't like the supernatural ones. But then if I read thrillers that aren't supernatural, I think I actually get more freaked out. So yeah, maybe as a genre, I need to rethink it and whether that's something I actually want to continue reading or not. That being said, since that book is complete, I do want to continue on the audiobooks. Now, I have 1 credit still left to use, but I already have 2 audiobooks downloaded. The first one is Bloodmarked by Tracy Dion, which is the second book in the Legendborn trilogy. So the first book, Legendborn, I actually read it in a previous video and I really enjoyed it. It was a fun read. It was actually a book that I didn't expect to read the whole trilogy this year. I'd only put the first book on my TBR for 2026, but I really liked the first book, so I am continuing with the trilogy. I think I gave the first one 4 stars overall. If you don't know what it is, we have our main character Bree, who at the start of the book, her mother had unfortunately passed away. This is an urban fantasy and she goes to this university where she ends up becoming involved in the secret society that deals with the supernatural. And yeah, it's really fun. It's a really good book. I really enjoyed it, and this second one, Bloodmarked, I think picks up straight after the first one. So that's one option. The other one is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. Now, I did read Babel last year and I really enjoyed it. It was heartbreaking and it really made me think, and I really had to concentrate when I was reading it, but I absolutely loved it. And so those are my 2 options. I think I'm going to go with Bloodmarked just because I finished the first one, Legendborn, pretty recently, so I'm kind of in the mood to continue with that trilogy. But maybe I'll read Catabasis later on in this video as well. I am also reading The Throne of Broken Gods by Amber V. Nicole, which is the second book in the Gods and Monsters series, I think it's called. Yeah, Gods and Monsters. So the first book is called The Book of Azrael. And I like the series. I don't love it, but I like it. I'm intrigued. I want to continue, but it's taken me a while to actually read. So I think that's why I'm kind of more enjoying audiobooks at the moment, because I've been liking listening to books while doing other things, while drawing, whilst going on walks, things like that. But in terms of this book, I am only 10% of the way through, but I will probably pick that up later on in the week. So for now, I think we're going to get started on Bloodmarked. Good morning. So I was listening to Bloodmarked last night and I am 8% of the way through. So I'm just about to start chapter 6 and I'm having a lot of fun. The first book was really fun and so this is bringing me back to it. And there is a love triangle in this book, and usually I don't always love love triangles because I often feel like there's an obvious choice, or there's one that is clearly good for the main character and one that clearly isn't. But in this situation, there's an obvious choice to me, but that's just because that's my preference in books. But both of the choices at the moment seem good for our main character, so I'm happy to continue reading it. I'm really liking it at the moment. We're getting a bit of development and some new characters, and I'm excited to see how it goes, so I think I should be able to get through a chunk of this today. I've really been enjoying listening to audiobooks on my walks to and from work. I think it's just helped elevate them a little bit more and helped me look forward to them rather than, can't think of the word, it's just helped me look forward to them, so I'm liking that. I'm still early on, but I am listening to Blood Marked, and how's it going? I'm liking the book. I'm liking the characters that we're kind of focusing on at the moment. Like I said, I'm liking the introduction of the new characters, so we'll see how that develops, but I'm hoping to get a bit more into the plot of the story soon. So yeah, then we can enjoy it even more. And when I listened to the first book, it was very fast paced, which I really liked, and I had a lot of fun listening to it, and it was easy to keep up with in the sense that there were a lot of things going on, but they were done in a way where things were revealed to us so that we weren't like overwhelmed as a reader, because sometimes I feel like fantasy books do that, where loads of information is just chucked on us and we don't really know what's going on, and I hate that feeling. Whereas in this situation there was a lot that was going on, but it was revealed in a way that was enjoyable to read. So that's where I'm at. So I'm back home now after work, and I have gotten to 46% of the way through Legendborn. So I'm on chapter 29 now, and I'm really enjoying it. I do want more from the romance, I think, that was introduced to us in the first book. Oh, Blood Marked, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm liking the plot, I'm liking some of the new characters that have been brought on. However, I do want more from the romance that was introduced to us in the first book, whether that's the love triangle or whether that's the original romance from the first book. I just want more of it, and I feel like we're missing it, so I do want that a little bit more, so hopefully we can get that back. However, I'm still liking this book, I'm still liking the plot, the way that it's being developed. I just want more of that romance that we were previously introduced to. What I'm going to do now is actually kind of do my evening routine, have some dinner, and then I probably won't listen to this again until tomorrow. Maybe I'll listen to it a little bit this evening whilst I'm kind of tidying up and getting ready for bed, but I think primarily I'll listen to it tomorrow. But that's where I'm at so far. Good afternoon. It is Friday now, a couple of days off for Easter weekend, which is lovely. It's pretty much the afternoon now, and I have been reading Blood Marked. I am now 65% of the way through, so I'm on chapter 39. And a few thoughts. So I think previously I mentioned that I wanted a little bit more from the romance, and we did get a couple of scenes pretty much straight after I said that, which I really enjoyed. And now I'm liking the way that we've had kind of a combination of characters come together and how that's progressing in the story, and I'm having fun with it again. So I definitely felt a bit of a lull at about 25 to 50%, but now it seems to have picked back up, and we've had a bit of a twist. We've had some development, we've had some other characters come into play, which has been really fun as well. So I'm really enjoying that. I'm gonna continue listening to this today. I am hoping to do some drawings and stuff today, so I will hopefully listen to Blood Marked during that. A lot of the time I've actually ended up watching like Netflix or something, but today I do want to listen to the audiobook, so that's my plan. So I'm about to do some practice with some oil pastels for a different video, but I'm going to continue listening to Blood Marked. Like I said, I'm 65% of the way through and things are starting to pick up, so I'm really excited to see how this will end, and maybe I'll finish it today, but let's see how it goes. Okay, so it's been a couple of hours. I am now on chapter 45, which is 75% of the way through Blood Marked, and I'm really liking the developments we've had in the past few chapters. I think it's what it needed, with the characters and the plot and the close relationship developments as well. I'm really liking it post 50% of the way through the book. The first half I definitely felt was a bit slower than I wanted it to be, and I kind of wanted a little bit more, and now we're getting that in the second half, which I'm really liking. And so I don't think I'm gonna finish it today, but I do think I'll finish it tomorrow when we can catch up and discuss my overall thoughts and final rating for the book. Now, I did intend for this week to be a little bit more with reading, and I wanted to read on my Kindle. I wanted to finish reading The Throne of Broken Gods, so the second book in the Book of Asriel series, but I just kind of got swept up in the audiobooks, and I was also doing a lot of drawings which I wanted to focus more on, so then because of that I wasn't physically reading on my Kindle or a book as much as I would in a normal week. When I have art things that I want to do, I tend to listen to audiobooks more, just because it's easier to listen to an audiobook and do some drawing together. And also just in general, I've lent more towards audiobooks this week. I tend to go through phases where I don't want to touch an audiobook at all, and then other phases where that's all I want to do, and that seems to be what this week has been. And that's just sometimes how it goes when the week gets a little bit busy, or I want to do other things, and I just end up with more audiobooks. And even though it's only been 2 audiobooks this week, what was the other one that I listened to? Oh, If We Were Villain, no, that's what I would have listened to next. We Used to Live Here. That's what it was. So I did manage to get a thriller in as well, which was nice, but I'm going to continue listening to this whilst I just finish tidying up my room, and then I'll probably pick it back up tomorrow. Good morning. So I am heading into London, and I am filming that for a separate video, but I will be listening to Bloodmarked on the way. I think I am. I did listen to some of it yesterday evening whilst I was doing some chores, so I'm now at 78% of the way through. I'm on chapter 48. I'm really liking the direction that this is taking, and I'm really excited to listen to the rest of it. I do think that I will finish it today, kind of as I'm traveling in and out of London and just walking about as well. So I am going to head off now, and I will catch up with you later. Good afternoon. It has in fact been a couple of days now, but I did manage to finish listening to Bloodmarked, and I'm giving this 3.5 stars. I still very much enjoyed it overall, but there were definitely moments when I was listening to it and I wouldn't necessarily say I was bored, but I just wanted a little bit more from the story, which I did eventually get. I just had to get to that point. So because of that, it's taking it down a little bit, but I still enjoyed it, and I will be continuing the series. Now, my original plan was to listen to the 3rd book in this series because I thought it was a trilogy, but actually it was originally supposed to be a trilogy, and now it's turning into a 4-book series, and the 4th book is not yet out. So I'm going to pause on this series for now and pick up the next one when I'm in the mood for it, or maybe in preparation for the 4th book when that eventually comes out. But this week has definitely been more audiobooks than I had thought it would be, and I think I'm back in my audiobook era, which I really like. I think especially because the sun is starting to come out again, I'm going to be going on more walks, so having an audiobook on the go is really fun to do. I also always love an immersive read, so having audiobooks ready to do that with as well has been wonderful. And also just in general, I'm drawing and sketching more, which has taken away some of my reading time, which is where audiobooks really come in quite well. So I'm loving that. But that is the end of this video. Thank you for spending the week reading with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.